Hello everyone, welcome to another video, another tutorial from my channel. In this video, I will be revising with you some tips and some points on the quadratic functions. So let's revise together. What do I mean by the parent function? It's all about the function which you do not have any transformation. It is the original function. So for the quadratic functions, it's all about y equal x squared. So let's talk about how can I graph a quadratic functions without using Desmos. Let's revise together what we talked previously. So if you would like to graph it, first of all, it is all about the table method. You need to choose negative values, 0, and positive values, substitute in the function, and take the y value. So if you would like to choose -3, then I will be substituting only with one of them. Then you will be doing the rest, -3 squared plus 2 minus 3 plus 1, and the rest will be the same. You need only to substitute. So after substitution, you will be getting this as 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, and 9. And as you can know, whenever you would like to graph or to plot a function on your coordinate plane, you need to locate your coordinate point, which is x and y. So if you would like to locate your points, let's start at the beginning by -3 and 4. So you will go up -3, then 4. It is your first point. Then -2 and 1. Then your other point, it is -1 and 0. And pay attention to this. It is the x-intercept where you have y is equal to 0. Then 0 and 1. Pay attention to this. Where you have x is 0, it is the y-intercept. Then you will go 1 and 4. Then 2 and 9. And all what you need to do is that you must connect them with a smooth line. Of course, in your notebook, it will be much easier than doing it on my laptop using this pen. So I will try my best to make it accurate for you. You must meet all the lines and connect them together, all the points with one line, one smooth line. After this, go to the other one and connect it there. Now, after using the table method, let's go to the way which is easier, as I told you previously in my class. So let's revise together what we need to do. Way number 2 is that you need to compare your function to the standard form that it is given to you, y equal ax squared plus bx plus c. So your a here, it is 1, your b 2, your c 1. So let's focus together. What is the axis of symmetry? Function or equation. It is all about x equal minus b over 2a. You need to substitute minus 2 over 2 multiplied by 1, and it's all about -1. Now, before doing anything, go and start drawing a vertical line which will be representative for the axis of symmetry on -1. So this is your axis of symmetry. Remember, it's like a mirror and all the points will be reflected there. So you need a point that it will be specifying for you where you must reflect it. So let's substitute with f minus 1 in my graph in the function that I have, which is minus 1 all squared plus 2 minus 1 plus 1. So I will be having f of minus 1 as 0. So I will be going there and I will be putting this point. Now I need another point. How can I find it? Use the y-intercept. So always know that whenever you would like to find the y-intercept, you need to substitute the x by 0. And look at the c value here. So it is always representative for the y-intercept in the case of having a equal to 1. So, and also in the case of not having a equal to 1, you just need to substitute x equal to 0. That's it. So let's go and now put your y-intercept. It's all about 0 and c, which is 1. So let's go there. There you are having 0 and 1. So you would like to reflect this point. Imagine you are having a mirror and we are having a distance of 1 unit. So it will be reflected with 1 unit. And you will put your new point on the other side. And you just need to connect these 3 points together with a smooth line. That's it. Your graph must be much accurate than this. Then, that was the first way, the table method. The second way, the axis of symmetry, y-intercept, and vertex method. Now, let's revise together. How can I graph whenever I'm having transformations applied? So let's compare with the vertex form. A is B 4 for me here. So as you can see, A is a positive value. That means your graph will be up and it is bigger than 1. That means it will be stretched vertically. Now let's go to this value of h. So h will be representative for whether you are going to the right or to the left. So here h for you, it is a 3. So you are going 3 units to the right. And k will be representative for the units up or down. Here it is positive. So k will be representative for the units up. Okay. Now let's start graphing. So your vertex here will be all about h and k. That means your vertex, it's all about 3 and 2. So let's just plug the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Now, let's pay attention on what we will do. First of all, let's put this point, h and k. It is 3 and 2. So this is your first point. Now, let's focus on other thing that you need to do. You know that this 3 will be representative for your axis of symmetry, x equal 3. So you can just draw a line here. And you can choose any point to the right from the 3. So let's choose 4, for example. So let's have 4 multiplied by 4 minus 3 all squared plus 2. So if you did it, it will be 1 squared multiplied by 4. So it is 4. 4 plus 2, it is 6. So you will be having 4 and 6. So let's go up. It will be 4 and 6. Now, how many units do I have until I do a reflection? You are having only 1 unit. So your new point must be here. And if you used your table to substitute by 2, it will be giving you 6. So let's graph by now and let's connect the points together. Of course, your line must be passing through this point and this point. Great. So now we talk already how can we graph using a table, how can we graph using the axis of symmetry, and how can we graph using the transformation in an easy way. So let's see, how can I solve a quadratic function? So let's focus on the function that we graphed already. So by graphing, so after graphing, imagine that I asked you, solve this function and solve this quadratic function. Of course, when you would like to solve it, you have to equate your y to 0. 0 equal x squared plus 2x plus 1. So if I told you just solve it from the graph, that means you need to look at your x-axis only. Look how many points we are having an intersection with the x-axis. That means you are having here 1 point, which is minus 1. So you are having minus 1 and 0. That means whenever you would like to find the solution using the graphing, just look at the x-axis, find x-intercepts, find solutions, find zeros, find roots. All of them will be meaning the same thing for you. So whenever you are having only an intersection with 1 point, that means you are having exactly 1 repeated root. And if you would like to explain it more, it will be real. So 1 repeated root, or you will be saying that it is 2 double roots. It can be done in both ways. Okay. So that was by graphing. You only need to look how many times your graph is intersecting your x-axis. Also, another way of the check, look at your function. What happens to it here? It is decreasing, then it is increasing. That means there is a 0 here between the increase and the decrease. Now, another method, it's all about the factorization and the calculator method. So the calculator method, you know it already. You have to go to mod 5, 3, and you can get the factors directly. But by the factorization, you need to look at the last term. Of course, the first term you are having coefficient of 1. So you can use this method easily. Go to 20. Now, what are the factors of 20? What do I mean by factors? I mean by them. Find 2 numbers which they will multiply by each other and they will give you 20. So let's think of them. First of all, you are having 1 and 20. And if you took also the negative, it will be minus 1 and minus 20. What are the other 2 numbers? 2 and 10. If you took also minus 2 and minus 10, it will be giving you 20. What else? You are having 4 and 5. Then minus 4 and minus 5. Now I'm having many factors. How can I know which one is the best and which one will be factorizing for me? Now I need to check the other way, which is the coefficient b. You need to have the sum of all the factors that you got, and the factor which will give you 9, it will be your answer. So let's add this one. 20 plus 1, it is 21. 2 plus 10, it is 12. 4 plus 5, it is 9. Minus 4 plus minus 5, it is minus 9. And here it is minus 12. Here it is minus 21. Now, it is clearly that this is the only one which is giving you your solution. If you add them together, it will give you 9x. That means, let's write it now together. Let's write the question from the beginning. 9x plus 20, and I would like to solve it. I will keep y as 0. Then I will be taking x squared plus mx plus px plus 20 equal to 0. And now what do I mean by the mx and the px? It's all about the numbers that you found them above. So x squared plus 4x plus 5x plus 20 equal to 0. Now, let's see how can I do this. First of all, you can do this factorization by grouping directly. So, take this one with this one and this one with this one. So, you will be having x as the common factor. Then you will be staying with x plus 4. Then plus, you will be having here 5 outside and x plus 4 between brackets. Then remember the GCF. Take it outside. Then you will be having the remaining x plus 5. These are the remaining for you, and take it with the sign. Now remember always to solve the zero product property. Either or. So either the first one will be having it equal to 0, or the second one will be having it equal to 0. And if you solve this equation, minus 4 minus 4, you will be having x is equal minus 4, and you will be having x is equal minus 5. So, in general, these are your solutions using the factorization. If you would like to check, you can use the calculator method, which is you must press on mod, then go to 5, then 3. With this, I summarized for you how can you get it using graphing, then using factorization and the calculator. Now, what if you are having a table for you? So what if I told you use the table to determine the location of the zeros of each quadratic function? So we took something called the location principle, which is all about changing the sign. So you must look at the f of x. Wherever you are having a change of sign, that means you will be having a root there. Now let's go minus, minus, then suddenly you are having plus. So you will be having sign change here. That means you are having a root here. So of course, the roots, it will not be the f of x values, it will be the x values. So your first root will be between x is equal minus 6 and x is equal minus 5. So that was the first one. Now let's keep going. You are having 4 and 4 it is positive. Then 4 and minus 1 negative. Change of the sign. Now continue, minus, 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 nothing changed. That means you are having a root here. So the second root should be for you between x is equal minus 4 and x is equal minus 3. Great. Now let's go to the other table. You have only to look at f of x values. Look at the change of the sign. You are having positive, suddenly you have negative. That means you are having a root between these two values. So the first root will be between x is equal 0 and x is equal 1. Now let's see if there is a second root here. So you are having negative 3, then negative 3, nothing changed, then suddenly you are having positive here. So you are having a root between x is equal 2 and x is equal 3. Do I have something else? No, that's it. Now, let's see the sign change in this question. You are having minus, minus, then plus. Suddenly you are having sign change. That means you are having a value between x is equal minus 3 and x is equal 0. And all about estimation zeros. All what you are doing is that you are estimating the zeros. So now you are having positive, positive, then negative. So you are having a change in the sign here. That means you are having another one here. So it will be between x is equal 6 and x is equal 9. And that's all about using the table to find or to estimate the roots. Now, how can you graph a quadratic inequality? So previously you learned how can you graph the quadratic equation. So we will be using this to graph your quadratic inequality. So to graph it, first of all, you will be removing the inequality sign and keep it as it is. Y equal x squared plus 2x plus 1. And this is the graph of it. Now, before doing anything, look at the inequality. The sign. Here you are having equal. What do I mean by the equal? That means you are having solid line. So just keep the solid line as it is. Do not change it. Then you must shade now. So shading, what do I mean by y is less than or this quadratic? That means you need to shade below this line. So if you would like to shade, you must shade below this line. So it's all about you need to graph the quadratic equation, check the line, and then check the shading. That's it. And for the solution set, please go back to the lesson and revise how can you write the solution set. I gave you a table method which is very easy. Please revise it. If you are having any question, you can ask me. Then, what if we are having bigger than? Now, I graphed the less than and I told you it should be below. What if we are having bigger than or equal? So it will be above. And let's see, we are having equal, that means we are having solid line. What if we had no equal? Then it will be dashed line. Just pay attention to this. And because you are having bigger than or equal, you just need to shade this area. That's it. And I did it for you using Desmos. and I colored it for you using the manual drawing. By this, I have reached the end of the revision with you. If you are having any question, please ask me.